Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode of Box on the Job. I'm your host Johnny Box, and usually you see me in the garage, but little did you know I got a daytime job that I actually know how to do. Here we got a sink that I've just installed, but we're going to walk you through the process of putting in a sink like this hanging in the corner. Stay tuned, this is Box on the Job. So when you get started on these, make sure you go through the instructions, keep those with you. They'll give you important measurements to make your job a lot easier. In this case, it gave me a measurement of 11 inches off the corner on center for each of these to mount the sink. Pretty simple. And then this edge here, it's a nice hard line. Then it gives you a measurement for the regular height. Now, in this case, I'm dealing with a customer that's a little on the taller side, so he didn't really like the 33 1/8 sink top height. We went ahead and we're gonna move it up a couple inches for him. So that's why I moved them up a little bit high. And then here, we put them 11 inches on center and 11 inches on center. I use big old fat head bolts because they sent me one big old lag bolt, but it was like this long, which is, I don't need it that long. I got backer board behind this, also big deal. Make sure when you're hanging one of these, you don't just hang it even to OSB. We've got 2x6s mounted on the back side in here. So make sure you got something solid to mount to. Anyways, once you've got these clips in place and leveled, you're ready to come in and set your sink. You want to make sure that those fully seat and that it's fully back into the corner. And then, while you're still kind of supporting it a little bit, just take a look underneath it and make sure that everything is hidden, tight, and level, and we're good. I'll even, for good measure, let's see. Oh man. Right on the money. Right on the money. And then, after I've gotten the sink and the drain in, we're going to put a bead of caulk all the way around this to lock it into place. So while we're working on it, we need to be careful as to not jostle anything like that. In fact, to make it easier on ourselves, we're going to take the sink right over to the bench. If you have the ability to take your sink out when you're putting the fixture together, i.e. putting the faucet into the sink and the drain into the sink, it's a lot easier if you can have it not mounted. So in this case, we're going to take it over to the workbench, put the drain in, and put the faucet in. Now that we're over here, you got to get yourself one of these, some kind of faucet. We like to put in pretty quality stuff. Delta, they're good stuff. They're good quality stuff. So let's put in this single handle lavatory with a pop-up. Alright, so we got a baggie of good stuff and we've got the faucet. So we're going to take everything out of the bag and make sure we've got all the parts that we need. We've got our pop-up, we've got our drain assembly and pop-up assembly, we've got our nuts, and we've got the ferrules to change the length of these plastic lines. That'll come important later, but we are going to start with this bag. And even right away, just so I don't forget, when you go and fill these up, a lot of times you've jostled pipes loose, you've made sediment come loose, so you want to take the aerator off of your faucets I did already take it off another faucet in this room on this system because it's got that screen in there and that'll get all clogged up. But it can free flow, get all the sediment out down the drain, and then you put this back in later. This tool is required for these ones, but they're nice because they got a little clip on there that snaps in there. So once you get this mounted all up in there and we're done with it, snap it in there so that the customer can use it later if they ever need to take it out and clean it. All right, I am in this case gonna start with the faucet because I don't want to poke a hole in this countertop with the hard drain there. So you need to make sure you get your gasket that goes and sits on here, get it in the right direction. The grooves on it go into the faucet, and you'll see on there it'll have a part that says front. I don't know if you can see it or not. I don't see the screen. So. Anyway, you run that on there. Line it up. Come on. It's on there. Supply lines go through the center hole. And then we need these nuts. Take these around to the back side. And they just go on there like that. See that? Then we're gonna get these snug first off. Just snug so that it holds it down, but not tight. We want to move it so that we can get everything all nice, square, and lined up while it's here, so I don't have to be reaching up behind this thing once I have it mounted in there. I can do it all while I'm standing up nice and tall. Easy on the back. Gotta start young because my back's gonna be broken before I know it, I'm sure. Alright, so just snug. Down. These corner faucets are weird, but at any rate, I like to line up the faucet right with the drain. So when you're looking at it, you want everything somehow. You just want to look at it and everything to be lined up, because that's what somebody's going to come in and do and look at. Is they're going to look at what lines up. So I got the drain, I got the corner, I'm going corner, drain, lined up, straight. What do you guys think? Pretty straight, huh? I think I'm gonna call it straight, and if it's off, I can still reach it. I can still reach it when it's in place to do final adjustments, but I'm gonna snug her up real good so it don't move from here while I'm working on the drain. Okay, now we need to prep our drain, and I forgot to grab plumber's putty, so I'll be right back from the van. Okay, so another thing you're going to need is some plumber's putty, as well as you're going to want some pipe dope and some kind of wrench. And since this was cold, I'm just going to get it nice and warmed up. You just need a little blob of plumber's putty. You got Stay Put, whatever, it's all the same stuff. Plumber's putty though. Hardware store brand seems to be not quite as nice, so you get yourself some good stuff. Anyway, let's unbag this. Start with just the drain. There's a little bit of prep work that needs to be done before you put this drain all together. So you get all that stuff off. Be careful of that finish. This is actually 3 pieces, so this unthreads and this unthreads, as well as yeah, this nut. We're gonna go ahead and run that all the way down. Just gives us lots of space to put this drain on. I'll run that all the way down. Take the rubber nut, put her down tight, keeps everything nice and tight. And then these are the 3 threads But you gotta put some dope on it. I didn't believe it at first either. I said, no way. There's seals everywhere. You know, that stuff should all just seal up. But no. That water will find its way down the thread, run all the way down it, and then drip on the floor. And then you'd be taking your drain all the way apart and doing exactly like the boss man just told you. Not me, like the boss man just told me when I did the first drain I did and had to take it all back apart because it leaked. So, you don't want that. But when you put pipe dope on it, usually, if you want to, you can put some channel locks on there. But with pipe dope on there, you can usually get it tight enough. Grab the paper towel. Nice to just keep everything clean. It's a good habit to be in. We got that one. Then we're going to put a little bit of pipe dope on here. That one can sit there for now. Take our plumber's putty. Get us a nice looby-dooby. You remember, playing Play-Doh when you were a kid. Don't rub this on the table though, because it'll leave a residue. This table wouldn't matter, but if you're working on a nice countertop, just use it in your hands. You don't want to leave stuff all over the counter. Keep stuff clean. And that goes around this rim here, which is the very top rim that goes into the sink. Nice little loop-a-doop around there. Squeeze her on so she ain't gonna move or come loose. And you want it to be nice and warm. So get it nice and warm. Then on these threads right here, need a little bit more pipe dope. Then these are all gonna go together. That goes on this end. This one comes over here. Find the spot. Line it up, and you get this. You want that piece that we just tightened up to tighten up all the way first, just by hands tighten up. Then we're going to take this nut. Also, you want to make sure now that you get this part. This is for the stopper, straight to the back, and then we're going to tighten her up. Start to tighten, start to tighten, start to tighten. Oh. Tighten. Tighten, 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 till she's snug. Okay. Once it's snug, flip it over here now and show you this other side. I'm tightening it. And you can see we want to line this all up in the center. Make sure that lines up in the center. It'll shmoo all that stuff out as we tighten it up. Just remember when you're tightening this stuff, tight is tight. If you put things in the proper places and everything goes together smooth, it should go together. You shouldn't have to force it. there we have all the bottom work done on a sink. So what I'm gonna do, swing back around, set this sink back away. Or in place. In place, not away. That is just real light taps. It will set into place, and once we put the caulking on it, it won't go nowhere. Alright, now, since I have that part done, I am gonna run the bead of caulk once it's level and where I like it. Since I'm no longer jostling it around, all the rest of my work is down here, out of the way. I should be able to avoid touching the caulk. And if I need to fix a little bit, so be it. But it gives me lots of time to let it dry while I'm here still watching it. Check these out. Sill gun, you know, I was a believer of the hype first time I saw a video, and I gotta tell you, I'm a continuer of the hype too. These things are sweet. Anyways, I'm gonna show you a little trick when it comes to caulking to make your life just easier. Now this is a siliconized caulk, so I don't know, somewhere in between caulk and silicone, but it works with this stuff, this trick. So you'll need some silicone caulk and some spray-way aerosol ammonia-free glass cleaner. You need both of those. And the first thing you do is you're going to come through here and run a nice heavy bead all the way around. We're going around the top and the bottom on this one. That way it is totally locked right in. Okay, once you've run your bead nice and thick, just leave it alone. Don't touch it yet. Leave all the ends and everything. We're gonna let it tack up for, we'll say just a couple minutes. We're just gonna let it tack up. Alright, once it's had just a couple minutes. Like, I probably fast forwarded the time and stuff, but I mean, like don't wait around real long. Then once you got it to that point, you take your spray way and just a nice quick spray all the way around, just like that. Take a bead with your finger, run her across there, make sure you catch everything. There we go. For dealing with silicone, you end up with a nice, perfect bead every time. Make sure you come in here and just try and dry up the excess best you can, but don't mess with your bead. Just leave that alone. Dry up the excess and the rest will just come right off. now we're doing all the work down below. Also, we also want to grab these ferrules that come with this kit. What that allows us to do is cut these down to the length that we want, so we can just run them straight in, and they look like old school, you know, poly lines. It's a good look, especially in this case where it's all exposed, rather than taking those stock ones and looping them, which is always an option. This here is the rest of the stopper. Oh, except one piece. The stopper. That there is gonna go. Make sure you don't forget to peel off these things. Some people say customers like to do it. Maybe. If you get a customer that says they like to do it, okay, but most want it ready to go when they walk through the door. So, this piece goes down here in the bottom. You remember that piece we were pointing towards the back? There's a little nut on that. And inside of there sometimes is a seal, so watch out. We're gonna take this little clip all the way off. It goes on the back side like that. Then it goes into here. And you wanna line it up so that when you move that tab, you look down in there and you can see that stopper moving. So the stopper's moving, as well as when you pick it up, it should hold it in place and it shouldn't just come out by hand, because there's a little eyelet in there. Watch out, because there's seals. Yeah, there's a seal that goes in first on these. The seal goes in, then this will go in. So the seal goes in, and goes onto that. Right, get the seal on there. Then this goes on. Threads everything together, but when that goes on, you want this to come through and actuate. Maybe it's like this. Now, I don't know. However it goes, you want that inside there so that it doesn't come out. Now you're going to drop it in there. That goes in there. And you make sure it moves. Tighten everything up just by hand for now. You should be able to get it by hand. Tighten up. Don't forget about this clip. We're going to use that next. This here is the handle. That drops down in through the back here, and you'll see it down below. This here is another linkage deal, and that is what gets us in between two. I like to have a wrench. Is really the easiest thing to tighten these up with. But if you don't have the right size wrench, crescent wrench will work just as fine. Oh, we get her sized up just right now. And then what this is gonna do, the stopper action lever we pull up there, you're gonna fall into there, and then we're gonna tighten that up at the proper height so that one of these holes lines up with our stopper lever that we put in the bottom. And then this clip is gonna go around this like this with that stopper in there to keep it from coming out. Anyways, I'd bring you down here and show you, but I gotta get work done, man. That goes there. This piece goes up onto the stopper. Try not to bend anything but this perforated piece. You gotta bend anything. Okay, once you have it all in there, the stopper should fully move and not affect any of the other things that we have in there. So luckily the drain's all below it. it doesn't affect these things. Let's next just get these supply lines hooked up. And if you feel around, there'll be a tag on one of them. I forgot to show it to you. But on these ones, the tag will show you the hot. And also there's a little red thing on this one. So make sure you put hot to hot and cold to cold, because otherwise your faucet will be backwards, and there's a little hot cold thing there. So people be like, that's weird. That's weird, guy. Use cutters like this when you're cutting tubing like this, so you don't leave burrs and stuff to get caught in all kinds of places. Just bring her down, make sure everything looks nice, everything's nice and straight, nothing's tangled. You get everything straight how it's going to be in there, you know, line it all up. Cut it just a little bit extra long. I like to, just for safety. You never know. Always trim a little bit up, it ain't going to hurt nothing. Then we take our ferrules. Remember, you got one for each side, so don't lose it. What you do then, is you take this piece, you gotta take your nut, put your nut on first, then you take your ferrule, put your ferrule on. Take your hose, make sure it fully seats down to the bottom of the stop, the supply valve. Then make sure it starts by hand. You might have to wiggle it around, make sure everything's all lined up and it's pushing down on that ferrule. Get it started. I really like these things. I'm not usually one for gimmicky tools, but I tell you what, having a little ratcheting deal that just goes on there, you can ratchet these size nuts tight. It's handy. It's real handy. Anyways, then simply repeat the process by bringing this one down, get it all lined up somewhere that makes it look appealing. Goes on first. Slide our barrel. Hold on. Tightens up. Tighten her all the way up. Tight, tight, tight. Just remember, tight is tight. Alright, now all we got left is to hook up the drain into here. Now, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to use purple primer for this step, but that's about all I'm going to say about that. Make sure you got your P-trap assembly and you got your excussion. I got two different types of excussions. We're going to try and use the fancy one. If we can't, we'll use the not so fancy one. Again, get your space clear, the stuff you don't need, everything that you do need out where you can see it. So, no matter what, we're going to need to take this 1.25 inches. Since this is an 1.25 inch drain, a lot of them are on lavatories. When you use these, you're going to have an 1.25 inches. That's the fat one. Only use this on 1.25 inch drains. If you use this on 1.5 inch drains, it just ain't gonna work. You're gonna have a hard time with it. But I've seen people try. Again, just like these, nut first, then ferrule. This is also a ferrule compression fitting. So, as we see here, we are way too high up, which means we're gonna need a tailpiece extension. Another trip to the bay because I didn't grab it. Alright, then, since we have that, we're going to take our tailpiece here and get that all lined up. Figure out where we need to put this. To do that, first thing you're going to have to do with this piece anyway is put a nut down like that. And I like to take that, hook her right up to the trap. That way we got our measurement figured right out. Then, what we'll do is turn it the direction that it needs to go right directly towards it and line up inside of it, and we were pretty much straight in line, huh? Bummer. Man, that's what we were hoping not to do, is be straight in line with it, but no. Oh, but we're gonna make it work with one more fitting. Oh no, we're gonna have to do this the ugly way. Alright, so we need about the shortest piece we can fit in here, and well, two of them, about as short as we can go. Okay, once we've got this together, or these two pieces cut out, make sure you get them burrs off of there. And just peel them off by hand. Good enough for grains. And we're going to use our 45 here, and basically what we're going to have is that, this, and hopefully things tighten up real nice. Gonna work. I forgot my excursion, but I don't think it's gonna fit on there anyway. I don't think so. Well, I'm glad I went with that. That's a beauty. That's a beauty. All right, there. Anyway, I'm gonna take a tailpiece, nut, ferrule, 1.25 inch ferrule. put her up on there. We may as well just bring her up to there. Whatnot. Tighten her up. Line up your height. I can just come down there. We got her height marked. Right there. Cool. Oh, cool. I think we can get by and just use half. That's gonna go on there. That. Tight. These. And you take, remember, nut, then ferrule, there. If you haven't already, make sure you put this nut on that way to tighten onto your trap. Then you're going to need another nut facing the opposite direction. Go on there. Then your ferrule goes on there. Make sure you get them ferrules on in the right direction that they're like that, so the nut goes on like that. Okay. And this, we gotta cut this to the right length now. So we'll line up that where it's gonna go. This is way too long to fit, so we're gonna cut off a decent chunk of it. Slip her in there. And come on, baby. Come on, baby. You can do it. You can do it for me. Just get where you need to be. Just get where you need to be. Just lay her right there. You can do it. If you want to, I can tell. Get on there. Oh man, look at that. That tight. That's already tight. Try and level that up as much as we can. Pretty good though, actually. And make sure that all your compression nuts are tight. Tight, we're tight, we're tight, we're tight. That's pretty much installed. Now we're gonna move on to the testing phase of things. And pretty simple put. We're gonna turn on the water. Make sure we ain't got no leaks here. I don't see no leaks. We got no leaks coming out of there. And we're gonna turn it on cold and hot, and be careful because air is gonna come out first. And then water. When you don't have the aerator on there, it sprays out like crazy. So be careful. Anyway, get the hot air out. Get the cold air out. We'll let it run for a little while. Because we want to make sure that we get any little particles from doing this construction that we did. Even if you do just on a normal house and you haven't touched any of the other plumbing, good chance with you jostling things around, you broke something loose. Take the aerator off, get everything nice and cleared out, get all the air out. No customer likes it when they open up their thing and get all the air. So get all the air out. You can be the one to get wet. Alright, probably good enough. Now don't forget about the aerator that needs to go back into it. And then to get that to go back on, don't forget you got this tool. Go ahead and get that put all the way back in there. Tightened up. And test it, make sure that it don't leak. And you can finish getting all the air out without getting so wet. Then, while we're letting that go, we're going to turn it over to the hot water. And let that run. As it runs warm, we can actually tighten these nuts up a little bit more with the warm water. Go ahead and get them tightened the rest of the way up. Get you a flashlight and watch every single connection around there for a good little while. And keep your eye out for any drips. You want to be real cautious on this one. Make sure there is no drips anywhere. Let her run and run and run and run. Alright, that's a sink. That's tested. That's ready to rock and roll. So, that's going to be about it. I'm going to clean up, and then as I'm finished cleaning up, I'm going to come back, make sure there is no drips there on the floor. And if there's no drips on the floor, I'm ready to leave. We are clean, we're dry, we're ready to go. Anyways, I'm going to leave you there. This has been Box on the Job. I've been your host, Johnny Box. Thanks for sticking with me. You know, I'd love a subscription. Comment if you like this style of stuff. If you want to see more of me out of the garage, let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, likes, subscribes, all that stuff helps me out a lot. I appreciate you watching. Anyways, see you guys next time.